Hey there, this is Stephanie Treasure, and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Business Growth Live. I wanted to speak to you today about something that is near to me, something that I have experienced, and something that I hope that you can relate to, or at least feel into how you can make this opportunity work for you when presented with it. So I've titled today's edition of Let's Talk Business Growth Live, Be Ready to Take the Stage at a Moment's Notice. Now, as I'm doing this live stream, the live version that is, you may be watching the replay, and if you are, welcome to the replay. I am recording this after 11 on a Saturday night. It's been a very long day, another long day, busy season, right? It's December, close to Christmas, and I was out. I had some things to do, and then I went out for the evening, and I just got back. And while I was at that event, I was called upon to speak at a moment's notice, not about business. I had to share something else, based on the occasion, something personal. But I was not prepared, and I was able to put something together and present at that gathering. But it reminded me of a time, actually this has happened to me quite a few times, where I have been called upon to speak as relates to business to persons, some of which audience members or persons at a gathering, some of which were my target audience, and I had to present and speak to them about my business or about marketing at a moment's notice. And I wanted to use that as a teaching moment for you. Many a time, even when I was in corporate, I was given a chance to either write about the business that I was working for, or write about my own business, or to do a talk at short notice, or to jump on an event, or to share something as relates to, give some piece of advice to business owners also at a moment's notice. And usually whenever you're, as a business owner, getting an opportunity to either write for a publication that's going to be targeted to your business owner, to your target audience, or to speak at an audience that consists of people also in your target audience, in your target market, those opportunities are golden, because it allows you to talk about the wonderful work you're doing, and sometimes it allows you to plug your business, or to plug your website, plug your program, or something that you're doing. So whenever those opportunities come along, you want to be able to seize them. And in order to do so, you have to be quick on the feet and be really willing and ready to, again, with short notice or at a moment's notice, seize these opportunities so that they don't pass you away, right? Or they don't pass away and you don't get a chance to speak or talk or to write about your business and to get exposed to these persons who may be interested in working with you, right? So I want to encourage you to have something or have a couple of topics that if you were called upon to present or speak at short notice, you could pull from that, from that library of topics that you can use, right? If you are called upon, not necessarily in a moment's notice, but let's just say there's an event that's happening in a week's time that another business owner is hosting and they would like you to come on board. You should have something ready, some kind of a signature talk ready, that if you have to jump in and sub for that person that had to drop out at the last minute, let's say, you should have a signature talk already, a title of that signature talk, and your talking points that you can deliver ready to go so that you can jump in and seize that opportunity. Right? So make sure that you have some kind of a signature talk prepared. In the case where you're called upon with just a few minutes notice, as I have been before, you should still have something that you can pull from and talk about again at a moment's notice. And what I used there in that case, and what I encourage you to use, it was not a signature talk that I used. I just pulled upon one of the questions that people ask me frequently whenever I tell them what I do, and I answered it in my talk as I would have answered it for that person one-on-one. But of course, I expanded on the points, right? So that's one thing that you can do whenever you're called upon very quickly. Just think about a common question or a common misconception or a common piece of advice that you tend to share with people. If they ask you to give them one tip or one thing that can help them to move forward in their situation as relates to your expertise, that can be used as a foundation for something that you share really quickly. And again, you can, if it's just one point, you can expand on it. If it's a 2 or 3 or 5 points, just know what those are and expand on each of the points and pull anecdotes from either your experience or client's experience to make it more meaty. And of course, work within the time that you're given, right? So you can make it, as long as or as long or as short as you're allowed to in that circumstance. But you should have something ready to go for these times. Like I said, a signature talk for something that's major where you have to go on somebody else's virtual or real stage, and something that you can do, ad lib, off the cuff. If somebody says, hey, come up here and tell us about what you do, and one piece of advice that you find yourself giving to your clients over and over and over again, right? Be ready and willing, right, to seize those opportunities, because it positions you as a great speaker to have, or a potential speaker for something else that host would like to get a speaker for. And it allows you to be showcased in front of your audience, so it's free exposure, and it allows your audience too to see how knowledgeable you are if you are just called upon to share with them and you share great value, right? So I'd like to hear from you. What is one thing that you could talk about for at least 15 minutes at a moment's notice? Go ahead and use the comment section below and share that with me, and use that, as you're answering that question. Again, use that as a foundation for a talk that you could give to your people or on somebody else's stage with little to no notice at all. All right, I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next edition of Let's Talk Business Growth Live. Bye.